I did find this t-shirt and it had me a little perplexed. Hey guys, it's Retro Alley, and today we're going to go in and try to find some vintage t-shirts in this little store somewhere you would never think you might find some. But I found this particular shirt that I'm wearing today, and it's actually from the 1984 Olympics, and it was put out by Levi's, and it's a pretty rare shirt. And I'm going to try to go in and show you some things to look for when we're looking for vintage t-shirts in the wild. Come on, let's go. Hey guys, this is Retro Alley again. I'm bringing you part two. The other day I went out and tried to find some vintage t-shirts in the wild. Didn't have much luck. So I thought I'd come on over to my booth and show you some examples so that you can better identify vintage t-shirts when you're in the wild searching. Okay, now first, what is considered a vintage t-shirt? Some people say 20 years and older. Some people say 30 years. For this practical examples, I'm going to say 20 years, okay? All right. My first example, when you're out in the wild trying to find some vintage t-shirts, one of the number one easiest things that you can do is look at that t-shirt and see if it has a date somewhere on the graphics. This particular shirt does. It's a concert t-shirt, Roger Waters, 2007. So I know easily that this was probably put out for that concert. Yes, there can be reproductions. And as we go through our examples, I'll show you some more tips and tricks on picking those cues up. Okay. The second thing, when you're out and about and you're looking at t-shirts, trying to find vintage ones, you've probably heard about double stitch and single stitch. This particular shirt does have a single stitch on it. And how I know this, I'm going to bring this a little closer so that you can see. Right there, there is one set of stitching, meaning that whenever it was made, the garment was constructed and made, one set of needles went through here to do the hem. They didn't start using a double hem or a double needle to finish construction of t-shirts until later. So that was my first clue that this is a vintage t-shirt. All right, and thirdly, I'm looking at this shirt to try to make sure that it is indeed a vintage t-shirt. And it has a tag in it. This particular tag doesn't tell me a whole lot, but I do see that it has the care symbols on it. And some people think if it has care symbols, and that means it's a lot newer. That's false. They started doing care symbols on garments about 1959. So this shirt, I was able to estimate that it was probably made the late 80s or early 90s. All right, when I was out sourcing the other day, I did find this t-shirt, and it had me a little perplexed. It had all the hallmarks of what I would identify as being a vintage t-shirt. The graphics are worn and faded. The t-shirt itself was probably a dark blue at one time, and now it's real faded. The cotton has thinned over time as it's washed. So those are all clues that I know from doing this for the last 30 years. Those are keys that I know that it is vintage. But I wanted to make sure. All right, so on the back of the t-shirt, it does say established 1992. Now, does that mean when this particular t-shirt was put out? No. That means that is when this particular establishment started their business. Okay? So I know that it is as old as 1992 or newer. All right, so on this one, I went to the tag. Okay? And on this particular tag, it does have an RN number. RN numbers are something that they started adding to tags to whenever a particular brand would file with the Trade Commission to be able to produce their garments, they would receive an RN number. You can go on the internet and you can put in, look up RN numbers. It's very easy to do. Now, older RN numbers that are 5 digits are usually from the 80s to 90s. This particular t-shirt did have 5 numbers. When I put it in the search, it came up as 1992. So since House of Blues was established in 1992, that is the time that they also filed to get their RN number. So I estimated this t-shirt is probably somewhere between 1992 and 1997. Another t-shirt that I found, and this can be difficult when a t-shirt is a double-stitched t-shirt and it has no tag. So those are 2 ways that you would have been able to identify how old it is. You don't have those. Thirdly, this did not have a date on the graphics to let me know when this t-shirt came out. So you just have to sometimes go with the graphics that you have or what the t-shirt will tell you. This particular t-shirt, Speed, and the graphics came out with the movie called Speed, and that was 1994. So I know this t-shirt was probably made and released right around the time that the movie was released. Now, they do reproductions all the time of t-shirts. Star Wars is a good example. You see a lot of reproductions of those. So then you just have to let the t-shirt talk to you. And again, you're going with the experience that you have of how the t-shirt feels, how it looks, how it's faded, how the graphics looks, to help identify, is this a reproduction or is this a new one? And this t-shirt used to be black. It's kind of gray now. The graphics are very worn and faded. And the feel of the cotton, you can tell that has been washed many, many times. So I know that this was probably put out around 1994. I hope some of these tips and tricks have helped you today to help identify finding t-shirts when you're out in the wild. Don't be afraid to use your phone and look up information if you can. But these tips today will help you a little bit if you don't have access to your phone and you're out searching and trying to find those t-shirts. Thank you for watching this video today, and if you could like and subscribe, we sure appreciate it. Thank you.